Hi guys, we have a huge Hyperlane route for you today that is going to encompass 11 tokenless dApps. As you know, Hyperlane Foundation has founded in early August this year, and it is almost a guarantee of a token in the future. So if you're still not farming Hyperlane, you should really get on it as soon as possible, because at the moment they've only raised $20 million, which is not a huge amount compared to, for example, what Wormhole did for 225 million. But the moment that they raise a huge amount, maybe like what Wormhole did in December last year, everybody's going to be farming this even more than they are now. So this is going to be a great video to help you get started or maybe expand your Hyperlane routes. But before that, super quick update on what's going on with Jupiter. So Jupiter Airdrop is coming in January, and we have received even more updates for the preview of what it's going to look like. So it's going to be a total of 700 million Jupiter tokens, 500 million is going to users, and 200 million is going to something they call carrots. So this is basically for people who use Jupiter mobile application, and is going to be more for content. So there's much more detail for this going forward, but today we want to focus on Hyperlane, so I will leave this in the description of the video, which is always, our links are always in the first link of the description of the video, takes you to the website where all the links of everything we talk about will be posted. And first of all, shout out to Dave Crypto Mogul in our Discord, who has found this amazing route and shared it in our Discord a couple days ago. So regarding Hyperlane, you have so many different dApps now being integrated that it is really, really easy to just get lost in all of this. We are always recommending to use as many of these dApps as possible, because if we're looking back, for example, for layer 0, people who use just Stargate, I remember wallets which I just used Stargate on, they received like 2 or 3 layer 0 tokens, but the wallets that I used to farm, for example, Superform or something else, I used Superform like 3 times and I got 40 layer 0 tokens just for using Superform. So you always want to try to diversify your dApp usage. And guys, everybody is farming this Merkly, which is the simplest Hyperlane transaction. You just bridge tokens between one chain to another. But the point is to try to use all of these other safe-ish dApps, of course, Zero-Way, for example, for refueling, or Forma bridges if you used Forma and actually minted NFTs. We all know how amazing that was. And there's just many different things to use. And we always recommend, for example, Treasure Bridge is also one of the newer integrations. Just use as many of these as possible. But if you get lost, this route is going to help you get an understanding of how this could actually work in practice. So let's get started. First, we're going to need EVM wallets such as MetaMask, Krabi, Zerion, or Rainbow. It is recommended to use all of them, just in case one of them decides to airdrop. You want to have usage on all of them. Same thing works with Kepler wallets, which is Cosmos wallets. So you can either use Kepler or Leap. Those are the two main ones. And you will also need a Solana wallet, but in this case, it is only Backpack, because only Backpack actually supports Eclipse. So it doesn't matter where you have funds, as long as you have funds on any EVM chain. In my case, I have Base, because still there's some selling I need to do with Odos, which is actually back to 4 cents. So if you're planning to maybe de-risk or sell a little bit more, now might be the time. Either way, if you have your funds on Base or whatever, the easiest way to get your funds to Forma is to simply use relay.link. So this is one of the best bridges out there when it just comes to how many routes they support and how many simple transactions you can create. Now, in our case, we're only sending a couple $100, but if you're doing this with volume, like size, couple $1,000, which is always recommended because you're paying the similar or same amount of fees, it doesn't matter what volume you're doing, it is always recommended to do a lot of volume. If you're not happy with this price impact and relay fees, you can make things a little bit trickier for yourself by simply using some other Hyperlane transactions. As we mentioned, Minter Merkly is the most straightforward one, but people use this one the most. So try to find some slightly less used dApps. For example, we have one that is actually this latest integration with Leap, which is Swap Fast. And with this one, you can basically send your funds from many different destinations and different blockchains and even ecosystems. Like you can send from Cosmos to EVM, you can send many different routes, but this one is a 2-in-1 because Leap doesn't have a token. It is also a Cosmos wallet, so you can actually use this one as well. So in this case, we would be sending funds from Base to Arbitrum, and then we would use either something like Llama Swap or something else like Jumper or many other of the dexes that we talked about in the past, and you can simply swap from ETH on Arbitrum to TIN on Arbitrum as well, and then you would send this TIN the usual route that we always use to send from Arbitrum. So you would go on use Nexus and you would send from Arbitrum you need to find, of course, you need to send it to Neutron, and then you can send this to Celestia. And then again, we've done this many times before, but you would send TIN from Arbitrum to Neutron, then from Neutron to Celestia, and then from Celestia, you can send it to Forma using this Forma bridge. So you've basically done the same thing, just like with Relay Bridge, but you have interacted with many different other projects, so which are also tokenless and can actually qualify you for future Hyperlane Airdrop. But again, if you just want to keep it simple and straightforward, following this guide that Amira has created, you can simply just use the Hyperlane route, which sends you funds from using the Relay Bridge. All right, now that we've sent our funds from Base to Forma, or any other chain for that matter, we're going to go to Stride Bridge, and we're going to send from Forma to Stride. In this case, we're going to need our Cosmos wallet, so we've connected already our Forma wallet, and now we're going to be connecting with our Leap wallet, but you can also use Kepler or even Cosmos Station if you are using that one. Personally, I prefer these two because I'm trying to bag an airdrop from these as well. All right, so we can always send either maximum or leaving a little bit of this over here. Again, if you still have not purchased any of the Forma NFTs, it is recommended to always do something with the funds that you bridge to a new destination chain. But there's a topic for another video. You just need to go to Modularium and find some NFTs that you like. Okay, so in this case, I always like to double check that I'm actually sending to my own address, which is on Stride. So we can always go here and check here to find Stride. And then you can see, okay, what is my receiving address on Stride? It is, okay, it's not showing, but basically, okay, we can try like this. So it's DLE7, all right, but this is just a precautionary measure. Okay, DLE7, 100 times out of 100 times, this is correct, but if you just want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence, then you can just double check like this. All right, so now we're sending to Stride, and we will be back once this transaction goes through. All right, now that our funds are on Stride, we're going to be sending it to Celestia using Usenexus, which is the premier flagship project for Hyperlane in general. So you can connect your Cosmos wallet again. You just press to send to yourself. And of course, if you want to double check again, you can, but we don't have to do this every single time. So we're sending to Celestia. You can see that it's going to need a little bit of Stride, but sometimes these wallets are very intelligent in a way that they can use actually a native token, kind of like an account abstraction method. So let's see if this actually goes through. Usually you would have to pay with Stride, but let's see if this works, because I know I don't have any Stride tokens in this case. Okay, so it actually works. Amazing. So they have integrated the ability to actually pay with any gas token. Amazing. Okay, that's unfortunate. It actually does not work because it says the transaction is going through and that it's successful, but it doesn't actually work. So we're actually going to need some Stride tokens after all. And the easiest way to do that is just to make a swap in the wallet itself. Alternatively, you can go to Osmosis or any other place. But for our purposes, we're just going to get some Stride tokens directly in the wallet, which could also qualify us for some potential future airdrops in the future. So we'll be back once the funds are actually on Celestia. Right. Now that we have funds on Celestia, actually, let us use the Astria bridge. And personally, I've never actually used this one before. And this is a general rule of thumb that whenever you're doing something for the first time, always send a test transaction. So this is exactly what we're going to do right now. As you can see, it's even adding me the particular special wallet chain. All right, so we're going to be sending just one TIA in our case, if this would connect. Come on. Confirm. Okay, this is my wallet address. Okay, I'm just gonna send one for test, and once this test arrives and everything else arrives, then we will be back once our funds are all on Astria. Okay, this was super confusing, but apparently when I connected to Flame Astria, then my Leap wallet, EVM wallet, was automatically used. So confusing, like it's like parallelized execution or something. But anyway, yeah, it's confusing, but long story short is you just need to make sure that you're actually sending funds to your EVM wallet that you're actually going to be using. In our case, I was using the one that I was using for a long time. So this one that ends with 1483, but after connecting here, it automatically connected my EVM version of the Cosmos wallet. So yeah, just a side note, it might confuse you. And this is literally a perfect example why you always send test transactions. Even if you're slightly more on the experience side of things, you can still get surprised by sometimes these crazy stuff. See, it connected my Leap wallet again. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's actually connect the one that we actually used. Also, sometimes you press MetaMask and you connect Rabby. DeFi is crazy, but it is also really fun. All right, so now let's just switch over to our milk TIA. As per guide says, we're not gonna do everything. We just do like 5 or maybe even less, depending how much you want to leave on Flame. But usually, if you're actually doing liquidity airdrops, it's recommended to do at least $100 to $300. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave like 10 TIA here, and let's call it a day. So yeah, we're going to swap here, and we're going to provide liquidity here in this pool, and then we are going to let this ride for foreseeable future. And while we wait, reminder that we talk about all of these things and more in our Discord. We have a Hyperlane dedicated channel where we discuss all strategies in real time. And if you've been in crypto for a while, you value your time and you understand the importance of sharing alpha with some serious DeFi degens. For all of this, also, you need to track all of the things that you're doing. If I did not write down in the app or in Google Sheets or anywhere what I'm doing in airdrops, then I would forget that there's like 10 TIA, and maybe I wake up in 50 years and see, oh my God, it's $50 million. Okay, all jokes aside, you need to write down everything, and the airdrop tracking application alongside the Discord can really help you on your journey considerably. Of course, don't forget there's also a passive income NFT generating you 10% every month, and we've been going for 4 months now, and with all the things, crazy things happening in the NFT space recently, it is just great to see there are still some projects that are giving you 10% every month, making sure that it is safe and secure, not risky bets. And now that we've LP'd on Flame and Astria, qualifying us for future airdrops, we're going to be bridging back using the withdraw function just like before. So any second now, we should have our funds back on Celestia, and let's see what's next. All right, so now we're going to be sending some TIA from the Use Nexus bridge to Eclipse using Hyperlane route. So we're back to this flagship product. Right, so now we choose the Eclipse route, and here we're actually going to have to connect our backpack wallet. So we have to connect our course Solana wallet, in this case Eclipse wallet, because we're sending funds over there. All right, so it has not yet arrived, but maybe the connection was broken. Okay, now the funds are back. Let us send, let's say, 112 over to Eclipse. Again, you have to make sure that you're sending to the right wallet. In our case, this is the backpack wallet, but you also need to add Eclipse network. If you've never used it before, you need to go here and you have to set up the Eclipse wallet for your particular one that you're going to be sending towards. It is the same one as your Solana wallet because it's a Solana virtual machine, but it's Solana. All right, our funds are there. It says failed, but it's actually delivered, and you can check this out in the wall. Now we're going to be connecting on Orca. Again, always when doing these things, always go from the official websites, and all the links are always going to be in the description of the video. The website is orca.so. So we've connected our Solana wallet. We need to switch over to Eclipse in the top right. So we actually need to do this again. Okay, and now we need to get some ETH because ETH is actually the currency that is used to pay gas on this network. So let's get some ETH. All right, let's see if it's going to allow us to actually switch. Okay, so we actually need some ETH on Eclipse natively, and for this, of course, you can use the official bridge that it is always recommended to use the official bridge to actually fund your wallets. But in this case, of course, Relay Bridge also comes to the rescue because, surprise, surprise, it also supports Eclipse. All right, now that we have some ETH on Eclipse, we can actually make our swap of TIA into either ETH or USDC. If you want to take it even a step further, you can provide a little bit of liquidity here on the Eclipse chain as well, but this is just extra. Santiago has just made a great video regarding everything you can do on Eclipse because we're super bullish on this ecosystem, not just from the perspective of NFTs, but also potentially some of these other opportunities. There have already been several decent airdrops on Eclipse, so we're expecting this trend to continue. All right, so once we've swapped into USDC and we're going to be bridging back using Use Nexus again, we're going to be bridging from Eclipse back into Solana because there is also a route that we can actually use on this chain. So once our funds are back from Eclipse to Solana, we'll be back. Okay, this is actually a great point to notice that sometimes these rates are really, really bad on different chains. If you've been maybe bridging to Manta or Arbitrum, for example, TIA on Celestia is worth, in our case, 4.76. So you would get $533 for 112 TIA, but the same token on Eclipse or Manta or other chains is actually worth 4.61. So you would take like a $20 haircut for nothing if you were swapping this on just $500. Imagine doing this with 5 or 10K, which is usually the amount that it is recommended, right? So it is incredibly important to actually pay attention to these rates, and we're actually not going to be swapping into USDC. We're actually just going to be bridging our TIA back to Celestia and preserving our capital. Of course, just super not interested in this huge haircut. Additionally, you can also never mind, you cannot send TIA to Solana, but okay, we're just gonna send it back to from Eclipse to Celestia. Never mind, we're gonna send it. Wait, what? Okay, so we can send from. Okay, this is great because it shows you exactly which routes you can actually send to. So we're gonna send it to Stride, and then from Stride to Celestia, and then from Celestia to wherever we want. But yeah, just always keep an eye out on the rates and how much you're actually getting for how much it is worth on a different blockchain. And as you can see, after sending your funds back from Eclipse to Stride and from Stride to Celestia, and then from Celestia back to Arbitrum, you have done many different Hyperlane routes and transactions, and your Celestia is back to worth 535 instead of 510, which it would have been on Eclipse. So yeah, just taking these extra couple steps, being cautious along the way, and if you're doing this for the first time, please do test transactions, make sure that you're doing everything right along the path. And then if you want to wrap up the route as it is recommended in this place, where you actually want to interact with both Jumper and Mayan, then once you're back on, for example, Arbitrum or something, you can then send your funds from Ethereum or recommended from Arbitrum, Optimism, or Base, or anything else. You can just send your funds from these EVM chains to Solana directly using Jumper. It is using Mayan route, and Mayan is also a tokenless project, so this has always been the best way to fund your Solana wallets, to just use Jumper and use the Mayan routing. And finally, when choosing between Swift, MCTP, or Wormhole routes, it is recommended to use all of them at least once, but sometimes you're going to lose a little bit of money on slippage or swaps. So if you want to make sure that you're not losing almost any money, the simplest way is to simply bridge stablecoins from Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, or even Polygon, considering that Polygon is usually the cheapest destination route when you're using any kind of Hyperlane interactions. And that is a wrap for this mega guide regarding the best possibility to position for Hyperlane future airdrop. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. If you have any questions or comments, I'm waiting for you in the comment section below. And if you're ready to take your airdrop game to the next level, we're waiting for you in our Discord. Happy New Year, and till next time, have an amazing day.